I'm here with Lon Johnson, the CEO of Waterworks Fund. Mm-hmm. And if you could just tell us a little bit, brief description of what you do at Waterworks Fund.
Sure. What we do is we connect investors with investment opportunities in the water sector.
Great. Short and sweet. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Did you always want to run a business?
I've always wanted to make a difference. I think that life is short, and when you look back on it, how do you want to look at your life's achievements? And to me, it's helping to tackle one of the world's biggest challenges, for clean and fresh water for everyone, is a worthy goal.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I know you've had a few different phases in your career. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, kind of, what were those phases, and what did you learn along the way that help you with what you're doing now?
Sure. I'm on my third phase. Maybe there'll be a fourth, fifth, who knows. But the first phase of my life, I ran political campaigns. Mm-hmm. I started out literally putting up yard signs and getting petitions signed, and before I knew it, I was working for Al Gore in his presidential race, and then working for a number of senators and members of Congress on their political races. Then from there, I went into business. I went into private equity, helping to run a private equity fund, and then from there to Waterworks.
Great. And what would you say, maybe from your political time, what do you learn there that now translates to the work that you're doing?
The biggest thing I learned, I'm a big believer in beginner's eye. Meaning, when you go through life and you do the same thing every single day, your life starts to become lived by rote, and you go into subconscious mode. And that, to me, is just no way to live life. I like the challenge of doing something new every single day. It keeps you dialed in. It keeps you constantly learning, constantly present, and constantly in the moment. And that's what I did like about campaigns until it didn't. And then that's what I enjoyed by moving from an organizer in politics into business. Every day was something new, and I learned and was forced to pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, you're going to make a mistake. And then moved into where I'm at now with Waterworks, and that's a whole new challenge. And so one of the advice that I would give to anyone, young or old, is don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Mm-hmm. Challenge is good. It means you're learning. It means you're dialed in. It means you're paying attention.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you're a lifelong learner, and your challenges are what keep you going to strive for the next thing.
Sure. And look, with that, you're not always going to succeed. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail often. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Just don't make the same mistakes twice.
Interesting. Yeah. Is that something you feel like you also took with you from your time in politics as well?
Yeah. Politics in many ways it's a 51% business. Which means you don't have to be perfect on every swing. You're seeking to get 51% of the vote, which means you can strike out 49% of the time. Obviously, the higher the better. But another thing both business and campaigns also taught me is patience. You can't both in business, politics, or any endeavor in life, it's just a series of small things that you're doing on a repetitive basis that hopefully accumulate to something large. In politics, it was the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November.
Right.
You were hoping to get 51% of the vote.
Yeah.
In business, it's setting up processes that you're finding a product or a service that you can deliver on a repeatable basis that's profitable for a business. Mm-hmm. And hopefully doing some good for the world.
I like that. It sounds like you've actually systematized the way that you work, kind of thinking about breaking it down, what are the steps? What are the repeatable processes?
Yep. It's just working backwards,
Mm-hmm.
Same, you learn that in politics. How many votes you need to win? Who are they? What do you got to say? When are you going to say it? How are you going to say it? Who's going to do that? And then it's just really just a system of organizing.
Very cool.
Learn that very early on.
I like that. You've already been kind to give kind of a message to people who might want to be getting involved, be a CEO, something like that. Do you have anything for people who'd want to get involved in the blue economy specifically?
Yeah, be the change. I think our last president said, we are the people we're waiting for. If you see something that you care about deeply, look up online and see what organizations or businesses are doing that. If you don't think they're doing it right, or if it's not being addressed, then go do it. You know, we live in an incredible time right now. Never before in the history of commerce or of our country are the barriers to entry so low. You know, thinking about starting a business or a nonprofit 20 years ago was, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, you have the ability, the hurdles are very low. The ability to start a business online and to show the world what you're doing and to gather support is never been easier. It's not easy, regardless of whatever time you were doing it in our period of our history, but never before has it been this, you know, has it been easier. And so, you know, research, find out, you know, who's doing this kind of work. If no one's doing it, then you should start it.
Love that. Is that how it was for you with Waterworks?
Yeah, you know, what I saw was a giant problem there, and that's, you know, look, the world has water problems, we believe, and we also believe that there are people out here, as evidenced this week at BlueTech, there are people with good answers that are addressing the world's water problems, but they need capital.
Yeah.
And, you know, how do we help them get that capital so that they can go on and continue, you know, helping to solve this problem? And we saw a giant hole there, and we're trying to fill that, you know, fill that with a solution.
That's great. One of the things that has really struck me most about this week is how people have said, you know, by doing this work, they're not only doing good for the world, they're also providing economic opportunity. And so it's always nice when you hear that those things can come together. Yeah,
you know, again, we're at a period of time also, I think, in the economy where the successful businesses of the past, and not all of them, but many of them profited by conduct that did not, you know, that got us in the shoes that we're in today, and that position that we're in today, and that is, you know, our planet's under threat.
Yeah.
I believe that the successful businesses of tomorrow will be those that are righting that ship. And you know, it's in that they're collaborative and working in partnership with their consumers. With their customers. They don't see consumers or their customers as just endpoints of communication. They see those consumers as partners and helping to solve the world's biggest problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Well, I guess to wrap up, I'd love to hear, what do you enjoy most about the work that you do now?
You know, it's every day putting together a little piece of the puzzle that opens up for more people to be involved. You know, it's a lot of work. And but you know, there's never a moment where I wake up in the morning and say, "Oh gosh, I got to go to work."
Yeah.
You know, one advice that I would give to anyone, young or old, you know, stop asking yourself, "What do you want to do?" or "What do you want to be?" or you know, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And start asking yourself, "When are you the happiest?" For me, it was a series of 3 questions. For others, it may be 1, it may be 9, it may be 19.
What were the 3? Can I ask?
Sure. You know, I'm happiest when, you know, my work is helping the world become a better place. When I'd never cared to be rich, but I don't want to have to balance my checkbook every day. Is it providing a sustainable income for me so that I can live, you know? And third, am I working for myself? Am I helping to, you know, am I building, you know, in many ways I've realized I'm not probably the world's best employee, or maybe even the world's best boss.
Many CEOs
but,
aren't.
Yeah. So realize that in yourself. Realize that, you know, when are you happy?
Yeah.
Because that, when you're happy, that infects both your work but everything around you and the type of folks you attract and the types of folks you're attracted to. Stop asking yourself that big momentous, you know, there's never going to be that question that sets your life and you're on a golden path. It's a series of questions. You know, I have these 3 questions. I'm not always in balance. All 3 are not a yes. Sometimes it's 2 out of the 3, sometimes it's 1 out of the 3, but it's striving for that balance continuously.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.